Everybody, Todd McFarlane here. Okay, today we're just gonna see if you guys pepper me with some questions. I'm gonna see if I can give you some answers. It can either be about my life, my work, or it can just be about who do you think is gonna win the National League or the Super Bowl this year. Anything in between. Got any questions about Donald Trump or Clinton? I'm your go-to guy. Otherwise, we'll show you what I've got on the board right now. I'll read your questions and answer them as they come by. Let's see, here's my page that I'm working on right now. This is for issue number 265. Just doing a little bit of inking on here, as you can see a bunch of it. So, one of the questions from Tommy Smith is, how's the movie coming? I'm going to be working on some script, hopefully button it up, maybe 98% done by this week. So that's what we're going to do. What else? We have lots of movie questions. Answer is the same. Favorite pizza topping? That's easy. I like Canadian bacon, being a Canadian, and I also like pineapple. I like pineapple and Canadian bacon. You can see here. Here's some of the rough, and then I put on a layer of white and I tighten it up and make it a little bit tighter there. That's Eric Larson stuff. So let's show you around the office here a little bit. Show you some of the tools that I use. Here it is. Got some goofy stuff. Let's see. One of the new series of Movie Maniacs. Actually, we're actually in negotiations, talking to some people right now about bringing back some of the Movie Maniacs. So hopefully we'll have some good news on that pretty soon. So, who's your favorite character to draw? This is from Jeffrey DeBazio. That would be this little dude right here. He's called Spawn. He's kind of cool. I like drawing the Violator. I like drawing lots of monsters, as you guys know. Let me see if I can go to a sketch. See if I have some sketch stuff. Let me see what we have here. I'll go here. What else we have? Well, how about old school versus new school effects? Don't know what that question means, Sarah. Give me a little bit more detail and I'll let you know. What's your favorite iconic McFarlane layout? Big hands, close-ups, profiles, lots of cool stuff. Who taught me how to draw? Amadeus Wolfgang. What? He's alive still? Who taught me how to draw? It was this hand. Look, at most comic book artists are not taught. We're self-taught because you can't really go to school for comic books. So that's sort of how that gig works. Let me see if I can pull up another page here. See what we've got here just randomly. Oh, hold on. Gotta hit that on here. There's a page here. Some cool stuff going on. There's a cool page here. Lots of cool detail on this one. Spawn floating. What's your favorite Spawn artwork you've done? Hopefully the latest issue that I do. There's been some other stories that I've done that I think I like, but you try and hope that whatever you're doing is the last work you're doing is your best. What's my favorite cover I've done? Wow. I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. I've done some that became pretty iconic. Some of the Spider-Man and the Hulk and the Spawn covers. So, it's weird. You don't really fall in love with your own artwork because you always assume that the next one you're going to do is going to be the best. So, how'd you come up with Spawn? This is from Anthony Van Rees. Anthony, that was pretty easy. Okay, there's only a couple things. Stick to what you know, right? Stick to what you know. So here's what I know. I know me. So essentially, Spawn is just me. It's just me, really, with sort of a costume on. So he sort of bucks against the system, which is why I started all my companies. And then you just add all the fantastic. He's in love with a beautiful woman named Wanda. By coincidence, so am I. I just spent my 31st anniversary with Miss Wanda, which is there's Miss Wanda and me on our wedding anniversary, right? Or our wedding day, excuse me. So, yeah. And then, right, every now and then, Ms. Wanda and I have a little bit of fun, and this is what comes out of it, right? You get some children sometimes out of it, right? I got 3 kids. It's cool. Let's see. Let's see if we can show you some other pages here. Got some new characters we're introducing. Let me see what we got. Animated Blu-ray coming out. I don't control the animation, Baron. You're going to have to ask HBO on that one. Carl Caesar, Spawn Animated, coming to a Blu-ray Spawn movie. I don't know. I don't control that either. My wife does. She looks like... it's pretty funny. Missy Langley Webb says my wife looks like Princess Diana. In that photo, you're kind of right. Let's get a close-up of Miss Wanda, or as we say, Lady Di. Look at Todd when he had lots more hair on his head. Not too bad. So, you're right. Is your kid named Spawn? No. I wanted to call him Jet. J-E-T-T, but my wife didn't go for it. So, let's see what else we have here. Oh, cars jumping up. Some cool stuff. Jesse Ritter asks, any possibility for a Spawn intercompany crossover someday? The answer is yes. That would be kind of cool. Todd, could you please do some sculpting demos? That would actually be an interesting one, so we'll work on that. I'll put it on the list. Lennon D. Colon Torres said, Todd, you are the best. I don't know if that's a question, but I agree with that question. The answer is yes, I am. Sarita Pearson says, you coming to New York Comic Con? I think so. I think we'll be there. Here's another page, some goofy stuff. When will the trailer Spawn be available? I don't know. After I make my SUV first, then I'll get to a trailer. So, let's see what else we have. How many bags of Cheetos have you eaten into? I'm not a big Cheeto fan. I'm not really a big Cheeto fan. But what I do have are little wind-up rabbits with ears and stuff like that walk around like chickens. So I do have that, if any of you guys were curious about any of that stuff. We've got Kurt Schilling when he's on Boston Red Sox. Will you ever go back to pencils and erasers after the Wycom? Probably. I mean, again, I'm a young man. I've got plenty of years still left, so I'll be doing lots of cool stuff. Let me see if I open this one bigger to be able to see some better detail on it. Could you draw a comic book version of my wee daughter for my first tattoo? That's from Ben Ryan. I'm not in the tattoo business, but I appreciate you asking. So here's the artwork as I blow it up. And there, we can get a closer look at some of it. I don't know what... You can see I made a change on the face here. Here's the face looking up. I didn't like it, so I turned the face looking down. If you look at some of the other artwork here, let me see here. Right, you can see some of the artwork. Even Spawn right there. It starts to shift in the corner. Right, I'll start tightening all this stuff up. Start adding the artwork on it. So that's what some of that stuff looks like. A couple more questions here. Do you have a license to do boxing figures? No, I do not. Ron Sawara. Sorry, I do not. Zoom in on this junk. Okay, on my junk. What are you talking about? But I can zoom in on some artwork, not my junk. So let's see what we have here. Here, I'll show you how it works. Okay, I'll go. Let's go really big. This corner right here. Let's see. So we're going to go in this corner right here. So again, there are some squiggly lines here. So if I'm inking it, then I go a little bit thicker. I do a little bit of feathering in here to just get it tight. Then I come back in. I want to make it a little bit darker in here, so we give it a little bit of shadow work. This is right underneath the guy's armpit up in here. Come up in here. Do some lines. And again, the trick really is to vary your lines. So you have some that are thick, some that are thin, so that you get in there. As you can see, I try to vary some of them. Sometimes I'll even go thin, thick, thin, thick, thin, thick, thin, thick, right? It's just pressure. I'm just doing pressure on it. and again, I've been doing this obviously for the past couple decades, so all these sort of motions go really quick for my hand, right? If you're doing it, you're probably going to be just a little bit slower. The one thing too that I've said on some of my other art videos is that you guys worry way too much about making a mistake. I don't, right? I just throw lines down and I just assume it's going to be right. And if I put it down, you guys go, hey, Todd must have meant it to be there. Okay, you guys can do the same. So you guys just treat everything a little bit more precious than I do. I mean, this is a wrinkle around the neck, right? I don't really have a set way of doing that. I just come in there and start throwing the lines. And eventually, I get to where I need to get to, right? So I come up in here, boom, boom, boom. Sometimes I make a little bit of shadows behind it. Some of them are a little bit darker. And then you just throw a couple of lines. And so you just get your shape. And then, again, remember, this is going to get colored. So once it gets colored, it's going to be even sort of cooler. So once you get up close to it, it's sort of a mess, right? I'm not doing anything spectacular. I'm just sort of throwing these weird lines. And then eventually it sort of turns into something once you get down here. And look at that. Whap. Anyways, so 2 more questions and then we'll go. It says you used to come to our store in Puyallup where me and my brother-in-law used to have one. Cool. Somebody, Sergio Schindler, says, come to Brazil. I should come to Brazil. I've get lots of answers. I should draw Seth MacFarlane voicing Stewie. Oh, he's cool. Stewie's cool. Okay, last one. Do you ever think, this is from David Gagnon. Todd, do you ever think that you will retire, or are you in it forever? That is a long, okay. Here's the cool thing about being an artist, right? So let me see if I like Todd, do you have insurance on your body? And I don't have any insurance on me, and here's why. Right? I can get into an accident and somebody can cut off this arm right here. This is my right arm, right? It can get cut off. Boom, done. Then somebody can go and they can get the leg off, right? Doof, I can still draw. Then and it would work. Then you can poke me in one eye and I can be blind in this one eye right here and I could still draw. And then this is the left hand. You can actually even cut this finger off and this finger off and I can still hold a pen right here. So here's all I really need. I need one eye and I need 3 fingers. And the answer is yes, I'll draw till I drop dead. So if any of you guys need a sketch, then I'll probably be doing it till I'm 95, maybe 100. So I'll get around to everybody. But in the meantime, thanks for showing up. Have a good weekend. I'm heading to a wedding for my niece. So it'll be a fun time. And then we'll be back next week showing you a bunch of cool stuff. Peace. Be out. Be good. Done.